emotion? Are you turning your jizz into the fucking Rasengan or something? Like with all swirling inside of itself until it
Hold on.
creates this perfect fucking
Yeah.
Someone hasn't made that a Naruto porn already. It very much ought to be.
Hello, everybody.
Chidori.
Oh, hi, where are you? We are actually.
Chidori! 1,000 chirping dicks. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the VGRCast, the weekly podcast about anything and everything in between. This week, I'm joined by lovely friends Mike, Monica, Ryan, Steve, and my lovely fiance Chris. My name's Kevin, and welcome to the show.
Audience, I watched it. We wasted so much material before this. I was just going for 5 minutes fucking straight on the worst shit you could possibly think of.
Yeah, and the cams are a little different.
Specifically, are the reasons I drink.
Yeah.
Speaking of drinking, this week's Kev's cocktail.
That was a good transition.
Good job, babe. You deserve a drink.
That was a group effort. This week, I have made another classic cocktail called the Dark and Stormy. It is quite simple. It is dark rum, ginger beer, and lime.
Ooh,
And I already tasted it before the show. It's delicious.
that sounds amazing.
It's like light and tropical, and it's just really good.
So not like Space Cum.
Not like Space Cum.
2 thumbs up.
You don't know what Space Cum's like. Maybe space changes its
2 thumbs
flavor
up.
and viscosity in space.
2 thumbs up.
Your tweet didn't go live, by the way.
Well, how rude of it.
Fourth corner.
The place for sports.
And bad jokes.
Oh, God, it's sports corner time already. Who put that there?
All
Oh,
right.
I did.
You did.
That's the joke. I make the schedule.
Sports corner.
I feel less blocky this
Copyright.
time. Anyway,
It's unfortunate. If you missed last week's sports corner, it was.
You better keep that fucking place up, man. I
I'm not touching it.
Good.
That's not going anywhere.
leave it.
I missed it. I'll have to see. I have to look at the VOD.
Anyway, Illinois State University baseball defeated the last undefeated college baseball team in the country last Thursday in number 19th ranked Purdue University on a wild pitch in extra innings, no less.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
The MLB has announced a new rule being dubbed the Shohei Ohtani rule after Los Angeles Angels pitcher / outfielder Shohei Ohtani. The rule says that any pitcher batting as their own designated hitter may remain as the designated hitter after being pulled from pitching that same game.
Okay.
The man wants to bat as a pitcher,
Hey, fair enough.
and he fucking rakes.
And they're
every
also
time.
no longer required to have their pitchers bat, right?
The National League now is, yeah.
Yeah, that changed this week too, right? Or last week.
Yeah. Wasn't there like it was always like a pinch hitter, right? Or something like that?
Well, no.
Uh, the,
Sorry, go ahead, Ryan. You can explain.
Yeah.
the designated hitter always batted in place of the pitcher for American League teams.
Okay.
The National League teams, the pitchers had to bat.
Gotcha.
And in recent years, a lot of pitchers have been wanting to participate in the home run derby, and a lot of pitchers have been hitting home runs recently.
Damn.
So
Hey,
let
that's
them
pretty
bat.
good.
Yeah. Calgary Flames head coach Daryl Sutter said that Flames player Eric Goodbranson missed the start of the second period last Friday's game because they were trying to find a doctor to stitch Goodbranson up. Sutter then said, "I could have done it in 5 minutes. I sew horses and cows up in 10. Sutter comes from a huge farming family.
Well,
Thanks.
Why did he need to be stitched up in the first place?
He probably got hit in the face with a puck or something.
Happens.
I didn't see the context of it. I only saw Sutter's response.
I
thought it was good enough. This man, if you listen to 1 minute of this man,
You don't.
yeah, yes,
It's just that commercial from like a couple years ago where it's the hockey player. He's just got the stick through his arm. Like,
what commercial is that?
I don't remember. I forgot what it was for.
How is that
but
possible?
I don't know.
Magic.
It was yeah.
Los
He's like-
Angeles. Well, yeah.
I was just like the joke was like, I need to be back by second period.
Oh,
Yeah.
Los Angeles Kings goaltender Garrett Sparks will be performing at Lollapalooza this year as a DJ.
Cool.
The more you know.
And two very confusing stories to end Sports Corner. It's short this week. The NHL trade deadline was Monday, which is the deadline for teams to trade players so that they are still eligible to play in the playoffs should a team make it that far. Usually things go off without a hitch. Everything just seems in order. Until this year. Vegas Golden Knights traded player Evgeny Dadonov to the Anaheim Ducks.
Daddy?
The return doesn't matter in this case because it's about to get crazy. Seemed pretty straightforward. Here's where things start to go awry. Dadonov supposedly has a no-trade clause in his contract where he can submit a list of 10 teams that he will not accept a trade to. Anaheim was on that list. Apparently, Vegas did not know about this no-trade clause when they had acquired Dadonov from the Ottawa Senators over the summer. So right now, it's a mystery as to who's at fault for this whole situation. Either Dadonov and his agent didn't properly submit the no-trade list, or Ottawa did not inform Vegas of the no-trade clause for Evgeny Dadonov. The NHL says the paperwork on their end checks out, and as the Central Registry for Trades does not deal with no-trade clauses, as those are handled at the team level. As of today, the NHL invalidated the trade. But holy fuck!
Wouldn't they just hand over like the whole contract when you get a player?
You see, the people that are in charge of the Ottawa Senators
Are not bright.
yes, they are inept pieces of shit that should be far away from anything, let alone a sports team. They should not be in any positions of power. As their general manager, Pierre Dorian, put it when asked how he feels about his team for the upcoming season, he started with a really long, awkward silence, and then started saying, "We're a team."
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
We're a team.
In that tone of voice too. All right,
Yeah.
and finally, there was chaos in the Central Collegiate Hockey Association Championship. The winner of this championship goes on to play in the NCAA hockey tournament. So, Minnesota State University had appeared to have scored the game-winning goal, thus winning them the Mason Cup. Celebrations ensue, handshakes are done, awards handed out, cup itself is awarded. All the players leave the ice, fans leave the stands, refs leave the arena. Then the announcement comes over that the goal is under review.
What?
This is 40 minutes after the goal was scored.
How?
I
In that review,
Bruh.
Sorry, man.
in that review, the puck is clearly shown going under the net. Now, how is that possible? When the opposing goaltender went back to make a save with his leg hit the post, popping the net up briefly, and the puck slid underneath the side of the net, not the front part of the net.
So wait.
It came from behind, is what you're saying.
It came
From behind.
into the side.
The space came from behind.
All comes full circle.
So, the call gets rightfully overturned.
Right.
All the players have to come back out. Minnesota State has to give up the Mason Cup
Oh
that they were awarded.
no!
they had to call the refs back to the arena because they had left.
I was going to ask, how many people who are supposed to be on the ice were gone by that point?
Fans were let back into the stands, and the game ended up going into a second overtime.
Okay.
Minnesota State did score a legitimate goal, thus winning them the cup for real. But just to be sure, they reviewed the goal.
Oh my god.
Making this
Oh my
kerfuffle
God.
entirely pointless.
So Minnesota State University is in the NCAA hockey tournament
Good.
because of this.
Was it
Despite
Minnesota
all of
State?
that. Minnesota State, yes.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Excuse me.
That's
that's
nuts.
some bullshit right there.
Wonderful.
Ugh. Don't ever do that again, please.
What?
Huh?
Sorry.
I got a stiff neck.
No,
What happened?
No, I'm not even gonna say it because the minute I say it, everyone's gonna be like,
I cracked my neck like I do all the time, but Monica's not around us all the time, so she doesn't hear me do that as often. So
I didn't even hear it.
I heard it, and that's
Yeah.
all that mattered.
see, these three over here are like totally numb to it at this point, probably. But
See, I just have a sensory thing where I don't like the sound of like cracking joints, knuckles, and
Oh.
whatnot.
Then I
Oh.
should not do that right now because
You would hate spending.
But see, now that you're talking about it, I want to do it.
just mute your mic for
You
when
would-
you do it.
You would hate
See, like-
spending any amount of time around Vanessa because of that. Because Vanessa danced for 18 years of her life.
knees cracking.
So, every joint in her body, she cannot sneak up on me because every time she tries it, I just hear,
No, that's the same with me. My ankles crack every time I walk. So like I'm trying to sneak up on Kevin and you just hear crick, crick, crick. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, I have that in my own right sometimes, but just like if people like purposefully do it, that's more just
that's fair.
Or whenever I'm bending down to like hold a dog, I just double crack the knees and we're like, oh.
18 continuous years of
he
dancing.
never stopped dancing.
Never
for
stopped
18
dancing.
years.
Damn.
Continuously, 18
Push
years
it
of
to the
dancing.
limit.
She didn't eat, drink, sleep. She just danced continuously for 18 years.
All on a
Honestly.
golf course.
Gross.
What?
Because you can dance if you want to.
You could
You
leave your friends behind.
Oh,
If
If your friends don't dance, then if you don't dance, then they're no friends of mine.
Wait, I want to go back to the golf course. Where did that come from?
That was probably supposed
High
to be a
School
transition.
Musical.
No, it was a High School Musical reference.
Wait, what?
Oh.
High School Musical 2.
Oh,
When he's
yeah.
on
Which
the-
I've never actually seen the second one.
Oh,
Or the third
I
one.
was supposed to
Oh,
maybe
I
watch
know what
all
we're doing
three of
tonight,
them.
then.
They are fine.
we're
It's
not playing
fine.
games after night.
I haven't seen
We're
the third
watching-
one.
No.
Nope.
The third one is all of those movies are fine.
I like
There
them.
is-
I
I
enjoy
have
them.
no strong opinions on them whatsoever.
have
I
no
enjoy
strong
them.
opinions about this
They're
movie.
good.
High School Musical.
Dancing continuously. Isn't that like a salmonella video or some shit? The dancing pandemic or some shit?
I was thinking of Dancing in the Streets.
Dancing in the streets.
So who put this topic next? I don't know.
I put
nice.
the next one because I finally, since my
Salmonella.
my Nintendo Switch Online subscription was up, I finally worked out getting the Online Plus. And thus, I finally
Gross.
had access to look. I have a lot of use for it, so
I can't rationalize doing it for the shitty ass emulators. I'm sorry. Continue though.
well, I got it
Wow.
specifically
For
for the Animal
Okay.
DLC.
I just bought the Animal Crossing DLC.
No, we didn't.
Well,
Yeah, I
also,
did.
Well,
Oh.
there's also now the Mario Kart DLC, and
Yeah.
I know
Little more worth it now.
little more worth it. So anyway, I've been playing the shit out of the Animal Crossing DLC and have been having a hella good time. Nico is a national treasure that must be protected at all costs.
He is a boy.
He is the best boy. But yeah, I just was curious since we were when I initially put this topic in, lacking a bit of topics. I was just curious if you guys had any DLCs you really liked or something.
I'm
Okay.
realizing now that
You first.
did you have one or no?
You first.
Okay. I'm realizing now that I really have not bought a lot of DLC for games. Really, it's just like map packs, I guess. So I'm going to cheat and say when Guitar Hero 3 added the Dropkick Murphy songs.
So here's the thing: does any of the Sim expansions qualify as DLC?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, there we go. Sims Pets, all of the versions.
Good stuff.
But actually, the best one is Sims 2 Pets, because you could bull prop cheat and play as the animals. So what I did was I made one human and like 4 or 5 animal. I think I did like 4, 2 of each, so that they could have babies and whatever. And I'd let the human do whatever, and I would just be a dog or a cat for 5 hours.
That tracks.
So mine is gonna surprise everyone. So like Kingdom Hearts 3 has a DLC, right?
No.
And I haven't touched it yet. Haven't even touched it.
You can't say that's the best though.
I'm not saying it's the best.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's the
that's
best.
the red herring.
No,
Yeah,
my
I saw through the red herring, which is why I didn't react.
thanks, Monica. My favorite DLC is from Don't Starve. The Don't
Yeah.
Starve Reign of Giants DLC.
Yeah.
Pretty much Don't Starve completely got changed 180 when that DLC came out.
Made it much harder.
Made it much harder.
You cannot light boats on fire.
Well, that was before boats were a thing.
That was in Don't Starve Together, which is also it's its own thing.
Well, the boats
Yeah.
were actually from the Seafarers one.
Yeah.
Not Seafarers, I forgot what it was called. But
Seafarers of the Catan.
yeah,
version.
Reign of Giants introduced the 4 seasons. So but before that, there were only 2 seasons in Don't Starve.
Oh yeah, you're totally right. It was summer and winter.
Yep, summer, winter. Now there's summer, winter, fall, spring. It also added 4 new bosses.
You said
So
those in
and
your-
it added a lot. It added a lot to the game. Completely changed it. So that was my favorite DLC.
I got 2, but they're for the same game,
That's fine.
and I can't decide between them.
Just say
Borderlands?
both.
I think I know
Mostly-
what you're gonna say.
Borderlands.
Borderlands.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
No
not what I
shit.
thought you were gonna
Oh,
say.
where were you going?
I thought you were gonna say Burial at Sea, but
Fuck, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
I'm still gonna have to go
Memory
with
unlocked.
Borderlands for the nostalgia factor. So my 2 for Borderlands 2 are the Mr. Torg's Campaign of Carnage and the Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon's Keep. Both of them are fucking great in their own ways. Tiny Tina's punches you right in the feels, and Mr. Torg is just one of the best characters in all of the Borderlands franchise. And I cannot get enough
gender
of him.
equality.
Thank you for the mandatory. Thank you for the gifted sub. Oh, thank you for the second gifted sub, Patty. Patty popping
Thanks,
off.
Patty.
Mike's
I
sub
hope
now.
you feel better, Patty. I'm sorry you
Yeah.
feel unwell.
Sorry, your throat feels like ass.
Love you, Patty. Feel better.
Hopefully, it doesn't taste like ass.
Don't
Am I right?
die.
Yeah, Mr. Torg's great. He's feminist-ish, full of muscles and has a self-censor built into his esophagus to please the stockholders.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Harry, that if you made me pick a second one, Blood and Wine is also really good for Witcher 3 because
I
it's
need-
essentially an entire fucking game worth of
Yeah,
DLC.
I need to play Witcher 3.
No spoiler. I need to play The Witcher 3 on easy mode just because I'm not there for the combat. I'm there for the story.
You see, I am there for the combat, but like I've started Witcher 3 times now, and each time
Yeah.
I start it like I get X far, and then I just kind of fall off, and then every time I try to get back into it, I'm like, I don't remember how to play this game because it's very complicated with its like combat and its controls and stuff. So like I feel like I just need to restart it every time I want to play it. So I want to play it again, but I need to restart it again.
I'm just gonna play it on easy mode and just like burn through it for the storyline because like all the storylines in Witcher 3 are fucking great. Also, Monica, watch the fucking Witcher TV show. It's so good.
I
I
haven't
have
seen
no
it either.
time.
Did you
I haven't
guys
seen
see
it
they
either.
just announced the new Witcher game?
Yep, new
They
Witcher
did.
game coming out. So that's
Oh,
more.
no, I
that-
didn't.
Yes, that's more reason why I gotta play Witcher 3.
Yes,
but also,
Henry Cavill.
But also, Harry, Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare technically wasn't a DLC, I think, right?
What do you mean?
It was a side game. It was like a second game, like Blood Dragon was.
It started out as a DLC, but it got so fucking popular, it got its own
oh,
thing.
was it?
Standalone expansion pack.
I'm pretty sure it was a standalone because I owned it as a standalone.
I played it as an expansion
I think it was
pack.
both because I do remember. I'm pretty sure I was in college at the time that came out, or like just
It was
after.
because Ryan had me start play it.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure
I had it
they
back
sold
in
it
high
as a
school.
DLC and it was a standalone, kind of like Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon was.
Blood Dragon 3 is only a standalone though. Blood Dragon was not DLC. Everywhere I'm seeing it says Undeniably standalone
You might be right
expansion.
about that, actually.
Everywhere I'm
believe the
seeing is
Blood
a
Dragon
standalone
bit.
expansion.
What'd you say, Ryan? Sorry.
I believe the Blood Dragon thing was a standalone.
Yeah, I think you're right now that I'm thinking back on it.
Well, I was gonna say like just about any of the Fallout 3 and New Vegas DLCs. I enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed
Couldn't
that.
really get into the New Vegas DLCs, but I haven't
Really?
played any of the Fallout 4 DLCs. What the really future the one with the heads in jar? No, it was the brains in jars.
Old World
one was
Blues.
just- yeah, that one was weird. I had no idea what the fuck was going on for the what's the one in the canyon with the dude with the bandages on his face?
God, I know what you're talking about.
Honest
Hearts.
Honest Hearts, yeah. I played that one. I'm like, I have no idea what's happening.
I'm surprised that you didn't really fall for the Old World Blues because it's all like sciencey and nerdy and shit.
It's not bad. I enjoyed it, but like that, it kind of had a sharp difficulty curve, and I.
Oh, absolutely! I completely agree with that.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm not having fun with this.
Yeah, New Vegas.
I didn't really like. Everyone jizzes their pants for New Vegas. I'm not gonna lie.
Left Behind for The Last of Us.
Shit
There's
on
a
so
Left
hard for this.
Behind.
I liked Fallout 4 better than I liked New Vegas.
There's a DLC for Left
New
Behind.
Vegas and Fallout 4 to an extent have like something going on with their map where you really can't be in certain parts of the map until you hit a certain level because there's just too strong of enemies or creatures that'll fuck your shit up if you go the wrong way. Like
Also,
if you go
Steve,
north.
Sorry, go ahead.
Like if you
I
go,
would just say, go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
if you were gonna go north out of Good Springs right at the beginning of the game, you're gonna get your shit fucked up.
Oh yeah,
like,
with my death claw. I think just real quick because we're drifting off topic here was like my thing with New Vegas is that the shooting sucked dick and that kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah, kinda.
It was okay. I've had worse.
I mean, so have I, but like it ruined I didn't enjoy the experience because the gunplay was so bad. That's just me. But that's just a me thing. You were saying, Kevin, sorry.
No, I was saying you're definitely not alone. I feel like New Vegas is a very polarizing game where you either love it or you hate it.
I don't hate
And
it.
also-
It's just I didn't enjoy it all that much.
It also took a while for people to come around to it because the first release was completely broken.
And me playing Fallout 3 a shit ton and then going into New Vegas, very noticeable difficulty curve.
Yes.
And I've heard rumors that it was because of Fallout 3 there was some sort of bug that lets you get stim packs way more easily than you should as opposed to the other games.
Interesting.
Yeah, I never ran out of stim packs in Fallout New Vegas.
Speaking of glitches, what's going on, Kevin?
All right, all my computer issues. So I think I might have solved one before the podcast.
Maybe.
But did you turn it
possibly.
on and off again?
He has multiple times.
Several times, Monica.
Because I am the most IT knowledgeable person in this group, and clearly know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Yes. So the first thing that kind of started going wrong was with my stream computer, where my keyboard when I type it would like double type or miss keystrokes and stuff like that. And it wasn't my keyboard because I got a brand new keyboard.
It's so cute too.
It's cute and tiny and it's
How much was
wireless.
it? Like $30?
Oh my
like
god,
30
it's so small.
It was
It's
like
only
$30.
$30. It's so
perfect.
cute.
It's the perfect keyboard for my stream PC.
battery powered or do you have to charge it?
Battery powered.
That's fine.
But it also happened with this keyboard.
And
So
it's brand new, so it's not the keyboard.
yeah, brand new keyboard. So I'm kind of like, what the fuck's going on? And I've been struggling with this for a few weeks now. And I think I just figured it out like before the podcast. I think something with the Stream Deck software is causing it. Because when the Stream Deck software, when I force closed it, it was fine. And then as soon as I opened it, it started again. So I'm going to have to look into that.
Yeah. I would reach out to Stream Deck and be like, "Hey, bitches!"
Or maybe I have to just reinstall it or something. And then last night was just a whole plethora of issues. So started off playing Minecraft. The server crashed twice. I lost like 10 minutes of work each time. Just decided, fuck it. And then I tried playing Apex, and Apex wouldn't launch because it was a file was corrupt or missing. And so I was like,
Is that
okay.
why I saw you playing Apex at like midnight?
Probably, yeah. Well, yeah, because it opened up after it was done repairing a river.
Yeah.
So I tried verifying the game files, and then it was taking forever. So I canceled it, and then I was like, okay, well, and then I tried some other stuff, and I ended up restarting the verifying of Apex, and I was like, okay, well, I'll play Fall Guys while I wait, and I opened up Fall Guys. Fall Guys opens up, and it's like, can't run, missing game file.
Oh,
Like,
God.
what the fuck? And then I close it, and then by the time I'm doing this, Apex Legends is like, oh, we're 92% done verifying. And I'm kind of like, oh, okay, cool. And then it hits 100, and then it's like, now downloading 32 gigs of data. And I was like, I don't have time for this. And I was so defeated, I just stopped the stream.
As someone who was there, I can verify the Minecraft issues.
Yeah,
It kind of sounds like you might have like a virus or something, like with 2 games with missing files that ran fine. Like we played Apex on Monday, and it was fine. There's no reason it should have gotten corrupted.
A virus would not target out single files of a video game.
I mean, that's maybe not a virus. I don't know.
Yeah, and I did run a virus scan last week, so I don't think that's it. But yeah, so I updated a bunch of shit. I tried launching Apex before the podcast, and it launches now. It runs fine. So I might play Apex after the stream, because I don't want to.
I thought you were gonna watch High School Musical.
We'll do that after Apex. And then I was kind of like, I was just looking around on the internet, because it's kind of like, how much is a pre-built computer? Because that's like the best way to get like graphics cards these days, and they're still like the computer I'd want is like $2,500. So it was kind of like,
yeah. I just did a cursory Google, and like the 2060 Super, which I have, is like upwards of $800 for some of them. Lowest I saw was like 400.
The normal 2060s run under 500.
Might be, but I. So what's the difference between that? Does the 2060s do ray tracing?
Yep.
Okay. So what's the difference? So you don't know the difference between 2060 and 2060 Super?
2060 doesn't offer the same processing, same performance as the 2060 Super, of course, but it's still an excellent GPU, delivering 4K gaming.
Honestly, man, go for it. It's if it helps you play Apex and it not fucking chug.
Well, the thing is, once I got into Apex matches, it was fine. The problem with it is with getting into the matches.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on there, but yeah.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to stretch my 2060 for a few more years until hopefully the crypto market just crashes and dies.
Good for you, Patty. Yeah, I mean that's the main thing. When that was, I don't like my computer. Knock on wood again, is doing fine for the most part. So like, I can't like justify shelling out for a 30 series right now.
Yeah,
I mean we were at Micro Center and we saw them there. They had them in stock, but they were like $1,200 minimum. I was like, ew.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I built like this. My whole setup is probably about, like, you can buy a graphics card, or like one of those graphics cards is worth almost as much as my entire setup. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I bought it. I guess I bought my stuff at like the opportune time before like the 30 series came out, and you know, before like crypto and NFTs kind of blew up. I don't know.
Oh wait, Monica, can I interject another topic real quick before we talk about your movie?
Go for it.
I saw the stupidest thing on Twitter. There's a company out there, it's called like Chunk, and they're selling chunks of a Minecraft server as NFTs.
What?
And essentially you get 126 by 126 plot of land, and that's and only you can dig and build on that land. However, you are limited to the resources on your chunk. So if you want like a different type of wood or something you can't get on your chunk, you have to go barter with other people on the server to get that shit.
And cap Minecraft. And cap Minecraft.
Okay. It's an interesting.
It's so stupid. Harry, stop. It's stupid.
Because you have some very expressive facials.
Me?
It's
You have to trade Ethereum too.
It's stupid because it's also illegal. You can't. It's against Minecraft's EULA.
Okay, Kev, I have a question. I think the concept is interesting, having a barter system in Minecraft.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Right.
I'm game with that.
Right. Okay. Now, my deciding factor on whether this is fucking stupid or not, how much does each chunk cost?
They haven't said yet. I actually checked the website today because I was curious, because I found out about this a couple weeks ago. Just haven't had a chance to talk about it on a podcast yet. But I checked their website, and there's no price listed. They're still in the planning phase. And I had the same thought, because I was like, if it's more expensive to buy one of these chunks than it is to rent a whole ass server, you're a fucking idiot.
I am never going to buy into it or pay for that because it's fucking stupid, and I'm not an idiot. But,
and like,
it's an interesting concept.
NFTs themselves, I kind of understand at least the financial background in that. It's kind of like it's crypto. It's gonna grow in price, or it's gonna shrink in price. You don't know, but has the potential to grow in value. A chunk in Minecraft is never gonna fucking grow in value. If anything, as soon as you buy it, it's gonna lose half of its value because no one gives a shit about your shitty Minecraft build. Who cares?
No one gives a shit about your chunks of plain.
I'm building a huge ass castle on our server. Does anyone really care about it? No.
Hey.
Just stupid.
For the last topic, can I send images to you on Facebook for the second to last topic?
I'm just glad
Sure.
Kevin came out and said that no one cares about his castle.
I care about my castle, Mike.
That's nice.
This cocktail went down way too easy. Monica, tell us about the movie you made.
Okay.
Or not made.
So,
Watched.
So we got a lot of catching up to do because, like a student before exams, we're playing cram right before the Oscars. So let's fucking go. Okay. So first off, King Richard, starring Will Smith, Anjanou Ellis, John Bernthal. I noted on there.
I like John Bernthal.
Thank you for follow.
So the basic plot follows the story of Richard Williams, father to the famous Serena and Venus Williams, and following his coachings of the girls as they become pros.
I kind of want to see this.
I want to see this one too. My mom was kind of on the fence. My mom was a big into tennis. She loves both female and male tennis players and everything in between. So she likes like Serena and Venus Williams, but she's like, I don't want to know about the dad. I want to know about the girl.
Yeah, that was going to be my main criticism of the movie is that it was incredibly frustrating because personally, while I'm unfamiliar with the story of Richard Williams, like my mom also watches a lot of tennis, but I personally never got into tennis, and I was
goes from one side to the next.
And I was about, about 2 years old when the events of the movies were taking place. So, obviously, not aware of anything that was going on. Because the incredibly frustrating thing with this movie is that
so
it's
petty?
definitely framed through his eyes rather than the girls. And it's such a shame that with such powerful women like Serena and Venus, it's strange. It feels to me like a strange force to frame it in that nature. And there wasn't enough scenes with the girls considering it was very much their story that as well. Like even if they focused on like even if they changed the framing where it was the girls and through their eyes and seeing their dad's coaching, still would have made a very good story. Hell, even if focusing on just Serena, there's a scene in particular because one of the things is they get Venus a tennis coach, but he only can coach Venus and not Serena. So Serena's very much in the background, kind of secondhand learning everything. And at one of Venus's first tournaments, the family goes to sign in Venus. They all go to where they're supposed to be for the tournament. And then Serena doubles back to the table and is like, I'm signed up for the tournament. Like, it was such a good moment. And even through that lens of feeling that step behind would have been so amazing, but I felt like it fell short in framing it through Richard Williams. I will say, though, that while Will Smith is very much a meme, he is you either die a good actor or become a meme. He very much is a meme. he reminds people like, hey, I can act, and his best actor nomination is very much deserved in the way he portrays Richard Williams. Although Will Smith definitely has experience in trying to over-advocate his kid's talent, so I don't think that role was much of a stretch for him, but...
Battlefield Earth.
Anjanou Ellis also delivers a strong performance as the matriarch of the Williams family. While Ariana DeBose is definitely going to win, it's still definitely worth pointing out. And while I have my own frustrations with the way the story was framed, the one surprising thing is that Serena and Venus are producers on this movie. And they very much wanted to focus on creating an image of a loving father in the movie, rather as portraying him as pushy or overbearing or whatnot, which I think that didn't come across, but that was just me. But one of the things I did love, and one of the things in general I loved with based on a true story media, is when they include clips or photos of the story that they're portraying, like actual clips and stories. And they do this specifically in the end credits and then when you go back and see those clips and look at what they referenced in the movie, it is amazing how accurate they got it. They got everything, and that is very much because of Venus and Serena's influence on the movie. And I think one of their sisters was also doing costumes too, so they were able to get it very accurate. One of the other things that in my post sort of movie research, I stumbled across a clip of one of the interviews featured in the movie, and it was beat for beat exactly the same as the real life interview, and it was pretty incredible.
That's impressive.
So it is very impressive. Like, minus I think where it is. I mean, it could have just been 90s lighting, so who knows? But it was pretty much beat for beat exactly the same. So overall, the movie is fine. It's well acted, but it could have been elevated to a much higher level if they reframed the movies through the girls' eyes, or even had them as a larger presence in the movie.
Nice.
All right. Then we're gonna move to the big front runner, Power of the Dog, which is directed by Jane Campion, who is up for her second directing Oscar. It is starring Jesse Plemons, Kristen Dunst, and Bumblebee Cabbage Patch. So, tells the story of George and Phil Burbank, two brothers who run a ranch. George, played by Jesse Plemons, is more mild-mannered, while Phil, played by Bonaparte Curmudgeon Face, is rough around the edges.
Keeps getting worse.
How many of these do you have?
I know that's such a stupid meme, but
Just
I love it.
keep going.
I'm just curious.
George then marries the widow Rose, played by Kirsten Dunst.
Oh, that guy. I know him. Sorry.
Who moves to the ranch with her young adult son. The three of them erode in different ways as a result of Phil's antagonism. So these are a bunch of ranch boys. This is adopted from the novel of the same name, written by Thomas Savage in 1967. And this is the current frontrunner for the Oscars. This movie got the most nominations, and it is very clear to see why. And where I watched this in my progression, it was at the time the most structurally sound stories, where the characters that have growth and change and had motivation, which is something that I felt that King Richard really lacked. So it was really nice going from watching those two things within the same weekend and seeing that. It's like, oh, that's so cool to see. And it felt refreshing in a very strange way, just because it felt like a newer story, because so much of this year had a lot of remakes, retellings based on a true story. So this felt very fresh and very new. And the interpretations of the characters as well, because these are a bunch of ranch boys, and there's a lot of boys being boys on the ranch. I mean, there's a whole point where you get to see the whole Cumberpatch, if you know what I'm saying.
Ha!
Oh, that's good. Okay, it took me a minute. That's good.
Penis.
Is it nice, Monica?
You only see it for a second. It just kind of.
But is it nice though?
I mean, it's nice. I mean,
Okay.
Very British.
I mean, it's covered in mud, so it's a little. He's rubbing himself in mud before he goes.
Well, let's be. Are penises
questions.
ever attractive? Are penises ever attractive?
No, but anyway, and there's a lot of extremely queer undertones with how because they're all shirtless, they're all running around, and at first I thought it was going in more of like a Brokeback Mountain type of direction, but instead of being the main dramatic reveal of like, oh my god, they're gay cowboys, it's not the main dramatic element. It adds flavor and depth to the characters instead of being that main dramatic element.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also this overall theme of grief that goes around, that is surrounding the movie, and how the characters are transformed by it. Rose and her son Peter lost their husband, and Rose is the widow of the town doctor, and he passed prior to the events of the movie. I don't remember how long ago off the top of my head. Phil lost Bronco Henry, his mentor, as well as the grief of these characters losing themselves as a result of Phil just being a fucking dick. And there is this wonderful scene, and this is just me being a fucking band nerd. So there's this scene where as one of the presents George gets for his wife is a piano, because she apparently used to play piano for moving pictures. So there's a part she's playing music, and I immediately recognized it because I played it in band in high school. It was, for those curious, is Radetzky's March. Anyway, and it was this neat organic moment just in viewing the movie with Nat that I just started to, because the whole thing is that song is typically played at in Vienna, Austria during New Year's, and the audience normally claps along with it. And it was a neat organic moment. I just started clapping along and humming it, and then Nat just turns to me. He's like, "Wait, you know that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's obviously Radetzky's March." Duh. And then it was weird as hell having Bendy Stick Curdle Milk play the banjo along with it. Yes, I just did.
Damn it.
Curdle Milk.
That's a new one.
Yes, I did dust off the Benedict Cumberbatch name generator website for this. Who's that?
I didn't know that was a thing, but that totally makes sense.
The story is split into 5 chapters, taking over the period of about a year. So it is. So there
A year each or a year total?
A year total. So there are some smaller and larger time skips here and there, but it doesn't feel out of place. It just starts it's Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it keeps pace very well. So overall, it's definitely not my favorite out of all the ones that I watched, but it is clear to see why it's the front runner. And unlike last year with Nomadland, I'm okay with that. It very much deserves it. It's very much an actor's movie with great character development, and if you're into that, and if you're interested seeing Bumper Stump's Candy Crush's Ding Dong, recommend.
I forget, did you like Nomadland or not?
No, I didn't like Nomadland. I did not like it at all.
Isn't that the same director that did Eternals?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's my
you didn't like Eternals either.
Tinfoil hat theory that Disney Marvel slid some money to the Academy is like, we wanted a Oscar-winning director to advertise with. That's my big tinfoil hat theory. But
I can't deny that conspiracy theory.
Anyway.
I don't think that they need that though.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Drive My Car. So.
God, there's more.
Oh God, I haven't even heard of that one.
So sorry, there was so much to catch up on with us on doing it last week.
Sorry.
Anyway, it's okay. So it is a Japanese film. Yes, it is a Japanese film. It is in Japanese. This is one of the ones I was excited for. And while it is mainly in Japanese, we watched it subbed. It also has parts in English, Mandarin, Korean, and coolest of all, Korean Sign Language, which was really fucking dope.
3 hours long.
KSL.
I'm going to touch on that in a second. So, and I ended up loving it for a different reason, as I will go into the plot. Actor Yusuke Kafuku accepts a directing residency in Hiroshima, and when he arrives, he is advised he cannot drive on his own, requiring him to have a driver. Kafuku's residency has him dealing with his own traumas and grief as he navigates having directorial control, but no control behind the wheel. So, as Steve pointed out, it is 3 hours long, and the very fascinating thing about the fact of it being 3 hours is that the first hour of it is all prologue to the plot that I just described, which I thought was a very interesting choice because right at the hour mark is when they start the opening credits. And Nat and I were like, wait, what? Starting that now?
You get an hour in and you're just like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Now we start.
Pretty much. And it's very interesting because you could have very easily cut that first hour and the movie still would have flowed well and not lost too much of context, but with having that context there definitely made certain scenes a lot more impactful. And this is very much an actor's movie. And that's why I love the shit out of it, being the artsy-fartsy theater kid that I am. So, right in the prologue, there's a scene of Kafuku on stage, and I'm like, look at this absurdist level shit. What is this? Waiting for Godot? And then they're like, but Godot is gonna come today. And I'm like, fucking knew it. which made me feel very smart. And the play that is being directed in the plot of the story is Uncle Vanya, which is a play by Anton Chekhov. And Chekhov has a very particular style.
As in Anton Chekhov of Chekhov's gun fame?
Yes. Which, there really wasn't a Chekhov's gun in this movie. Nat and I were trying to debate that. But anyway, there very much is those themes of not only of Uncle Vanya and Anton Chekhov, not only within the play of the story, but also in the story as well, and how those intertwine. And Nat is big mad about this because he's like, I don't see why this why this got a directing nomination. He's still big mad about the Denis Villeneuve snub. He just shouted from the other room. Besides the obvious actors being actors aspect, I think one of the very delicately balanced things in this movie is the more dramatic aspects of the script, where it didn't come off as very melodramatic or overdramatic, and choosing those specific imageries to display and cut together.
Okay.
And despite it being 3 hours, it was very, very well paced. But for someone who knows the basic production process of putting on a play, it felt natural to follow that thread. In fact, there were a lot of points where Nat and I just turned to each other and were like, actors, am I right?
When you're both actors.
Yeah, when we're both actors.
You're not even 9 months old.
He's so big.
He's so big.
There is... The only sort of major criticism I have is there's this one kind of gaping plot hole in the prologue where it's revealed that Kafuku has glaucoma, and that's the first establishment we have of him not being behind the wheel. And we thought that there was going to be more of that, but there really wasn't. But overall, I love this movie. It's very much, this very much is an artist movie and may not have the universal grab of some other of the foreign language films that have been nominated in the past, such as Parasite or Pan's Labyrinth. And it's got a very niche niche appeal of people who don't mind reading subtitles and fucking acting. Still give it a recommend. And then finally, I'm sorry, I'm almost done. Don't Look Up!
Oh, I want to see that so bad.
I do want to watch that.
Don't tell us anything. We're gonna see it soon.
Well, tell us about it, but don't spoil anything.
I won't spoil anything.
Hey, don't
it's
try
starring,
to get Sarge, buddy.
Starring fucking everyone. This is a very star-studded
Everyone's
cast.
fucking.
Leo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Ron Perlman, Ariana Grande, Kid Cudi, Tyler Perry,
Yeah,
Timothy
we gotta watch
Chalamet,
this like now.
Kate Blanchett, Michael Chilkus.
Why the fuck is Kid Cudi in this?
Because why
You'll
the
see.
fuck not? He's probably
You'll see.
performing or something like that.
So
That haircut
Gaping?
does not work. That wig or haircut does not work for Jennifer Lawrence.
Roma
Or
was
is that
the other
No,
foreign
it
language
works.
movie that I couldn't think
I
of.
disagree entirely.
Yeah. So the basic plot is that a PhD student at the University of Michigan, played by Jennifer Lawrence, discovers a giant comet is headed toward Earth. With
It looks fine.
what? Michigan State. Thank
God.
you.
Good job, Nat. Proud
Who
of
cares
you.
about those details?
Michigan State University. I'm sorry. I didn't write that part down.
Yeah.
Anyway, PhD student Jennifer Lawrence discovers a giant comet is headed towards Earth. With the help of her professor, played by Leo DiCaprio, it is determined that if it hits Earth, it'll wipe out the planet. They then try to do everything in their power to get the help they need to save the planet. It was wonderful. It was hilarious. I was anxious as hell the whole time.
I feel like it's just too close to reality where I just be like, this isn't funny. This is just depressing.
So that's one of the things I was going to say. It is such a perfect satirical time capsule of 2016 to 2021 in terms of the way that it tackles meme culture, political interests, mega corporations, etc. And it is very blunt and to the point. Like, they don't try to hide it behind various metaphors and whatnot.
What the fuck, Harry?
Is it like Moonfall? Chris and I saw Moonfall.
Moonfall was
I
great.
haven't seen it. It looks
Moonfall,
so
I can't
stupid.
It was
really-
awesome. It was perfect.
It's so stupid
No,
and
it
awesome.
wasn't. No, it
Is
was.
it stupid in all the best ways?
It's stupid awesome.
If you love disaster movies and end of the world movies and just stupid ass sci-fi movies, Moonfall's right up your alley.
I just love stupid fun movies.
Watch
it was.
that
It
all.
was stupid fun.
Zero brain
Anyways,
power.
Monica,
Like,
sorry.
The
Monica.
science will
Okay,
not make sense.
I'm sorry,
but-
I've been taking up so much time.
No, you're good.
well,
Can you give me kisses?
yeah, and the editing of it is absolutely incredible and simulates the information overload that we constantly receive on a regular basis by consuming social media and whatnot, which made the movie even more anxiety-inducing. And while it seems like it's a very clear metaphor for COVID and how we as a society has handled it, the very fascinating thing is that this movie was written prior to the pandemic.
Don't
It,
bite me.
it intended to start shooting in March of 2020,
Oh.
but and it ended up being pushed to November 2020. The research that I was doing, people were talking to Adam McKay like, "Are you psychic? What's going on?" And the fact that it wasn't written while COVID was happening to me is fucking terrifying.
Which, I mean, I thought I remembered hearing about that movie before COVID.
Do not bite
Yeah,
me.
Damn.
I've heard it has more climate change allegories from other people I've heard who've seen it.
Yeah,
So-
I could say that. Here's the reason that I interpret it as more of a COVID metaphor. Is that
The entire Trump administration?
I mean, yes, but part of the reason why I was anxious for like 85% of this movie is this movie was seeing my big fear of COVID realized. It illustrated the struggles that these characters are facing, trying to do something to save the planet, but being turned away, talked down to, and grandstanding without really doing anything. and just seeing that play out just triggered me in such a particular way, and really, very neatly, really illustrated why I started going to therapy last year. Go get help if you need it, folks. But yeah, overall, it is a great and important watch. But if you have been mentally affected by the pandemic, make sure to allocate some time to give yourself some self-care after watching, because it's gonna wreck.
Not an exact comparison, but I think it's the same reason that similar reason to why Vanessa had a really hard time watching Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth, that's what it's called. Yeah, Sweet Tooth, where working in healthcare and the pandemic, like it's just kind of like, nope, this is super exciting. I had to do something. Fuck this shit. It was the general gist of it. Like it didn't affect me as much, but I was just like, nope, I can't do this.
And
Vanessa will not be watching season 2 with me.
And then one more smaller point. I just want to give a quick plug. I think I talked about it maybe like a month or two ago, but Nat, my man, recently started podcast called Glorious Schlock, which is a podcast that talks a lot about movies and stuff, whatever they really want to, honestly, but mostly movies. And I recently, or actually it wasn't that recent, about 3 months ago, I had recorded an episode with them, and that episode came out a couple weeks ago. It goes into more in-depth, it's episode 5, I believe, and it goes into more in-depth conversations about West Side Story and Matrix Resurrection. So since I didn't do a really deep dive into that, since I was in the middle of the show at the time, that'll give you an opportunity to see some more detailed thoughts on that. Also, that same episode, there's another guest on there, and him and Nat's co-host go into a very deep dive of some Star Wars EU books. So give it a recommend. They're on fucking everything at this point. I think Spotify, Amazon, Spreaker. There was something else, but I forgot it. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. Oscars are Sunday, so just had to sneak that all in.
So who do you think's going to win Best Picture?
So
who do you want to win Best Picture?
Okay. So in terms of personal enjoyment...
Oh god, what have I done?
In terms of personal enjoyment, I would have picked West Side Story, but what's probably going to win is Power of the Dog. That's currently the projected front runner.
Just out of curiosity, did I know obviously not Best Picture or anything, but did the Batman and Spider-Man get any noms?
Well, the Batman came out this year, so it wouldn't have
that'll be next year.
In. The only nomination that Spider-Man got was for visual effects, and there were a lot of people that were big mad about Spider-Man not being nominated for Best Picture, but
they can stay mad.
They can stay mad. Like, look, I love that movie. It's probably one of my favorite. It is a great movie, but in the fact that it is almost all of it is a callback to your childhood. Yeah. It is a nostalgia movie, 100%. It is a perfectly serviceable, fun Marvel movie, but it's like, it's not Best Picture. It's not it's not groundbreaking or a cinematic masterpiece. It's fun, nostalgic action movie. That's all it is.
I do agree that there needs to be a new category, I think, in the Oscars. Maybe not for, like, best crowd pleaser, but, like, I don't know.
Well, what's it called?
The Oscars is literally just a bunch of dudes patting each other on the back.
It would be the majority vote, like in, presidential elections.
So the interesting thing, after Dark Knight did not get nominated in 2008, they purposely expanded the Best Picture category from 5 to 10 movies to try to compensate for that. Well, let's see if we can get some more popular movies recognized on this list, and it didn't fucking work. So, don't.
Debatably, you can trace the ripple effect of that all the way back to Titanic and the fallout of that as well, with how it just kind of splintered audiences on it.
Okay, claws away.
I don't know. I still think the Oscars is cool and all, win Best Picture and everything, but like at the end of the day, it's still just a bunch of dudes patting themselves on the back. It's people
and
who
paying
are
for awards.
Yeah, it's people who are in the Academy, winning awards from the Academy. It just all the rich people and celebrities patting themselves on the back for an entire night. Just like, good job, me, I did it. Or, good job, buddy, you did it. And just, it means nothing to us. I mean, it's cool for, like, people who are into movies and stuff, but, like, the world keeps spinning. I don't know.
The world keeps spinning round and round.
I don't know. I
I
haven't been the most Oscar following, but within the last few years, it's been fun to kind of follow these movies and look at stuff that's been outside of my comfort zone. So
yeah, that's fair and that's fun. I mean,
that is fun and
watching new movies you wouldn't have watched before.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have watched half these movies. Hell, I would not even have thought of Drive My Car, and that is something that really spoke to me as somebody who is not only a fucking weeb but also an actor.
I guess my point is that those movies should have gotten recognition and publicity and marketing and stuff, not just because they're Best Picture noms, you know.
but
that brings up a whole other can of worms of media and how movies are advertised and whatnot. And
yeah,
I think I can count on one hand the number of Best Picture nominations I've seen in the last 10 years, actually. And I think one of them was Birdman. And I think that might be the only one, and I didn't like it.
Well,
anyways.
Did you see West Side Story?
Vanessa did, actually, while me and my brother were seeing Batman. So, no, I have not.
I want to watch it with Kevin soon.
Well, if you've seen Dune, you've seen a Best Picture.
It's 2. But I did like Dune. Dune was fucking amazing.
We haven't seen that either, Kevin.
Oh, you need to. It's so good.
I don't have any desire to see Dune.
Same.
It's for a movie whose main color palette is all brown. It's basically brown. It's a very visually pleasing movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
I would recommend seeing it if you like sci-fi stuff. Speaking of sci-fi stuff, how about that trailer?
How about that?
No, stop! You're skipping over a very important topic, Steve.
It was a good transition. Fuck
no,
you.
it wasn't. We have to take space first.
You skipped something. You cannot skip over the space jizz.
Space jizz is also sci-fi, so technically it was correct. He just didn't want to say space jizz because he's a little baby.
If you weren't here at the beginning,
I was transitioning to Kenobi, but whatever.
Yeah, I know. You skipped
you
skipped something. So if you weren't here at the beginning, there's a topic on our topic list this week called Kevin Chris Tastes Space. And it's because we have this Coca-Cola Starlight flavor that says space flavored on it.
It says, yeah.
No idea what this shit tastes like or smells like even.
What the fuck does that even mean?
So we're going to find out what space tastes like.
It's not even in fucking... Yeah.
But there was all the jizz jokes at the beginning.
So much jizz.
Right, let's try this.
Musky.
It smells.
It's probably going to be like cherry.
Please tell me it's musky.
It's always fucking cherry.
It's not musky. It smells sweet.
You know what else smells sweet?
Only after a lot of pineapple.
Ingredients. Carbonated water, no shit. High fructose corn syrup, no shit.
I'm getting weird
Natural
marshmallow
flavors, no
vibes.
shit. Fruit and vegetable juice for color, okay. Phosphoric acid, caramel color, caffeine.
I don't think you're going to find the answer on the ingredients.
Do you taste marshmallow?
Yeah.
I kind of taste marshmallow.
Hydrochloric acid.
Yeah.
Fentanyl.
Radon.
Tastes like marshmallow.
A little bit like marshmallow. Okay.
Lean.
What?
You terrified the boy by leaning back.
Okay, why is he right there? Why is this thing so close to me?
Coke literally be selling lean.
Well, why was it so close to me? I don't know it was there.
You weren't looking at yourself in the camera? Because I do that all the time. I look at
I
myself.
don't. Anyways,
That
Coke
Kenobi
out here
trailer,
really
though.
selling lean.
now that Kenobi trailer.
Yeah.
Steve, you have thoughts?
I honestly, well, what do you guys? Well,
Hang on,
for those
I don't
of you
think
that
I've
have watched
actually
it,
watched it. Hang on.
Looks fucking awesome.
it looks fucking awesome.
And
I
Ewan
love
McGregor
it.
is Ewan
You
McGregor's.
want to be the one to be like, he's fucking awesome, and it's someone else being like, actually, it's not.
Hang on,
fucking
I'm
awesome.
watching it
And
now.
Steve being like, oh.
Which I think Ewan McGregor looks perfect. He looks
100%.
he looks believable that he could age up to Ian
Alec Guinness.
Alec Guinness, sorry. I knew something similar to that.
Who historically hated being associated with Star Wars.
Yes, but apparently Ewan McGregor in an interview yesterday or today said that he still goes to automatic doors and pretends to use the Force to open them.
Because
That's
he's a huge nerd.
adorable.
We don't deserve him.
And Ewan McGregor is one of my favorite parts of Star Wars. So
Yes,
I will
Ewan
be watching.
McGregor, honestly, if not for Ewan McGregor, I really don't think the prequels would have been even a little bit good.
Yeah,
They would have just
That's-
been bad movies.
That's a thought.
and not an incorrect thought.
What? No. What if Cal Kestis is an Obi-Wan?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So Cal Kestis is the main character in Fallen Order, which takes
They
place
did-
in between takes place in between 3 and 4. And just today they announced that the actor was in Disney World, debuting
his lightsaber for
debuting his lightsaber hilt for the Build Your Own Lightsaber station, and like he looks like, I mean, Cal Kestis was modeled after him.
yeah.
So
They literally scanned him and put him in the fucking game. It's
so I
literally
mean,
him.
he could theoretically be in it, and that'd be an
Yeah.
amazing tie-in.
You know, you could also cosplay as Obi-Wan. Just saying.
Me? Probably.
I'd have to. I think I
I've
could
got
pull
the
it off,
beard.
too.
You
I just
Definitely
have
the
to dye
beard.
my
You just
hair.
have to. You just would have to grow your hair out.
got
That
the
trailer was awesome.
But the trailer was dope. But I think my biggest thing was from that. I mean, I realized it before, but especially with this trailer, is that Star Wars fans fucking suck. And was
Yes.
because the Grand Inquisitor, who is basically, for those that don't know, he's a dark side user trained by Palpatine and Vader to hunt down whatever Jedi Order 66 missed. His species is those guys with all the lines in their faces from Episode 3 on Utapau. I don't know what alien species that is, but the dude with the weird teeth. Thousands of separatists on the lower levels. Yeah, those guys. Now, admittedly, it's like so the guy's head is pretty round looking. I'll give it that. And he doesn't have like the yellow eyes, but like, who the fuck cares? You realize that it doesn't premiere for another like 3 or 4 months, or actually I guess like 2 months at this point. And the special effects probably aren't done yet.
Steve, that's not CG. That's makeup.
Yeah,
They're not
that
going
was
to fix that.
It doesn't matter. They can always add like red eyes in post.
I mean, it doesn't also have to.
They're
It
not
should.
gonna
It,
squish his head.
it should. People shouldn't expect
who the
it.
Fuck cares?
People shouldn't expect it to be accurate to a fucking cartoon.
Exactly.
They're not.
That's what I'm
no,
saying.
they're not expecting it to be accurate to a cartoon. They're expecting it to
are.
be accurate to Episode 3.
Even okay, and that's like looking at every human and saying we all have the same fucking head size. It's asinine.
There are multiple of them in Episode 3, but
It doesn't matter because they all look. That's because they just copied the same like prosthetic and put it on a bunch of people. We've seen 2 of them and they were just standing there. It's probably for.
It's also a fictional universe. There could be a different looking people on the other half of the globe.
that is also true. But also, if I'm just looking at it and it just looks like a dude, so
Yeah,
I'm just.
exact-
My
It's
argument
fine.
is it just looks less interesting than previous designs.
That's
fair.
a valid criticism, but there was one shot where I guess there's a character. I think the third brother, I want to say, he was also featured in Rebels, where he's kind of got like a very shark-like angular face. And the guy who's playing, and I don't know if I really hope they just haven't finished the CG yet, but he looks like an overweight Asian dude with green face paint on. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can. If you're complaining about that, I can see it. I mean, it's a faraway shot, but still.
And yeah, no, the Inquisitors are not Sith. They are essentially what Grievous was, where they're just lightsaber wielders.
No, they're Force users. They're not.
Okay,
Sith.
but they're not Sith though.
They're not Sith. They're
just like how Grievous was not a Sith.
Right. Their technical term is Dark Jedi, though. I think, or I don't know.
Well, then that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother thing. I'm not getting into it, but they're not like they're exempt from the rule of two.
Luke's a gray Jedi.
Anyway, Star Wars.
Luke is a gray Jedi.
Star Wars fans suck because I immediately expect because the trailer for the most part looks fucking dope.
Yeah, looks awesome.
Everyone in the fucking subreddits, which I guess was my first mistake, was immediately just whining about how bad it looked. It's just like, just enjoy things, you miserable fuck.
You mother.
We are getting fed constant content.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be clear, I don't give a shit about Star Wars at this point.
Fair.
But that's a really awful argument. You're getting fed content. Like, you can still critique the content that you're getting.
That's fair.
Well, so
but like to the point that the fandom hates on it, like why even in the fandom anymore?
They're not repeating content though.
No, but the Mike's argument is that like even though they're putting out content, it could be terrible content.
I mean, you can still be part of a fandom that's 50 years old. You can still enjoy the old stuff.
Yeah, I know, but at some point, like, you're just gatekeeping, like, the new stuff. And that's the problem. Is it if you're still involved in the community and you're still just constantly shitting on everything new that comes out, you are essentially gatekeeping people from discovering and enjoying the new stuff. Because they're going to come in and they're going to go, oh, this veteran doesn't like it. I don't like it. Even though they might love it.
Yeah, but I think everyone knows that the Star Wars fandom is massively splintered at this point. And also...
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just talking about fandoms in a general.
Yeah, but the reception was mostly positive.
Yeah.
Oh, for the Kenobi trailer?
I guess my mistake
it was
looking
overwhelmingly positive, I thought.
Yeah.
It looks great. I'm very interested. The only thing I was mildly concerned about was like it showed a bunch of shots of what looks like Coruscant, but no shots of Obi-Wan like on Coruscant. Okay.
It's not Coruscant.
Well,
they've already confirmed that.
Cyberpunk Star Wars City then. It's clearly not on Tatooine, so I don't fucking know.
It's on a new planet.
Cyberpunk City?
I believe it's a new planet that we haven't seen yet.
Anyway, I'm super jazzed for it. Gonna watch every fucking episode, and I'm gonna love it because Ewan McGregor.
So another trailer that came out was surprisingly
I actually really liked. A lot.
Yeah, me too.
I fucking want to see this.
I love. Fine, go.
Can I just continue my introduction of the topic? The Puss in Boots 2 trailer came out.
Oh.
Okay, now, babe, you can go.
I really like Puss in Boots 1. That might be a bad opinion, but I really do. I adore the backstory of Puss. And I'm excited to see what they change in this, and like when he actually like meets up with Shrek. He's already like when he meets up with Shrek in Shrek 2, he's already an established mercenary. So it's like I'm really excited to see him between like the kid phase, which was Puss in Boots 1, and then now, which is apparently Puss in Boots 2. So.
But I very much appreciate the entire aesthetic revamping of this. Everyone's taking cues from Spider-Verse and actually trying now with their animated projects.
Well, and they bring back a character from Puss in Boots 1, and I'm super excited.
Well, just people have already pointed out that they're animating on 2s now, and like
they're animating on what?
2s every
that
second.
Means 12 frames per second. 12 frames per second instead of 24.
Sure.
It's twice as fast, I guess.
I didn't watch the trailer because I have zero interest.
Animating on 2s means you're so
it's keyframes, right? Every keyframe on 2s.
It's keyframe. Well, it's frame rate more specifically, but basically, and for normally, with most films, it's on 24 frames per second. That's like the vast majority of stuff that you see in films. With animation, however, you usually see a lot of playing with the frame rate because you are drawing the individual frames or animating the individual frames. And the tip, I don't know why the terminology is the way it is, but basically animating on 2s is half the frame rate of is half the frame rate of a typical of the typical frame rate. So it's on 12. So animating on 3s would be like 8 frames per second. Animating on 4s would be 6 frames per second, so on.
So essentially, it looks really nice and crisp and clean, and it looks very like 2D meshed with 3D, kind of like Spider-Verse was. And yeah, like Mike said, you can really feel the influence of Spider-Verse on a lot of these movies. Like DreamWorks has their new movie coming out where it's like Big Bad Wolf and a bunch of people, and it looks fucking beautiful too because it's the same exact thing where it's that mixed stylization and looks fucking beautiful. And like this is the next generation of animation, and it's fucking awesome.
Okay, but can we talk about the wolf man with the hooks for the hands?
Oh, and the Puss in Boots trailer? Yeah, that looks crazy.
Well, and Kevin was like, is that the Big Bad Wolf? And then, no, it's not, because the Big Bad Wolf is in Shrek.
You also thought it was the Big Bad Wolf.
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying I didn't.
Okay.
Okay, then I'm done talking.
No, I'm just saying you also thought it.
So the Big Bad Wolf is not actually wolf with sights for hands. It's actually wolf in Grandma's clothing because he ate Grandma.
Because he's already been in Shrek.
Yes. So I have no idea who that wolf character is, and I'm excited to find out who it is. Because if they say Big Bad Wolf, then that's a big gaping plot hole.
I prefer
yes, the Hogwarts trailer was awesome. There's not much to say about the Hogwarts trailer was awesome.
I'm gonna buy it when it comes out. That's pretty much all we have to say.
This channel will become exclusively a Hogwarts Legacy channel.
Yeah, and he won't let me play on his channel.
Putting down Goblin Rebellion seems mildly problematic, but
it gets way more problematic when you actually read into Harry Potter lore.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm going to ignore this and try to enjoy it anyway.
Which house? I'm Slytherin.
Hufflepuff, 100%.
Technically
Ravenclaw.
Slytherin.
Wait, so what are you? So
Ryan, you're a Slytherin?
Yeah.
Ryan and I are the Slytherins.
No, that tracks.
Mike, Kevin, and Monica are Ravenclaw, and you're Hufflepuff.
I'm a Hufflepuff, 100%.
Makes sense. We don't have any Gryffindors in this group.
I've actually placed into every house at least once.
Harry, I don't believe you.
I believe him.
I mean, he's smart about some stuff.
My order of placements was the first time was Gryffindor, then Hufflepuff, then Ravenclaw, then Ravenclaw. So
I made him take it again because he's like, I've placed into 3 houses. I'm like, well, you can take it one more time and see if you place into Slytherin, or just see what actual house you fit into. And I've placed into Slytherin every time except once, and that was Hufflepuff. So.
Anyways, so we're running low on time. So the Miss Marvel trailer came out. Marvel fans are butthurt like normal.
I didn't watch it.
Just because
I didn't even know it came out.
Yeah.
They changed her powers slightly. She's not like super stretchy. Instead, she has these cosmic bracelets that like give her like cosmic energy effects that make her like limbs huge.
Yeah, from what I understood from the comics, she's basically in the comics. She's dollar store Reed Richards.
Well, that's the comic books, yeah, and I'm pretty sure.
Comics.
Yeah, then most of the internet's pretty concise or whatever, that they essentially changed her powers because they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four soon, and they don't want people to confuse her with Reed Richards. Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of hard to confuse small Muslim girl with white.
But their powers would essentially be the same exact thing.
Fair.
And she's not exactly Green Lantern. I don't think she can just conjure up anything she wants. I think it's mostly because I mean all they showed in the trailer was her fist can get huge and she can kind of project a little shield in front of herself.
Which is kind of what she did in the comics, except it was her flesh. Exactly. In Marvel's Avengers, except it was like her actual hands that got huge and wasn't like projected energy or whatever.
Yeah, she was stepping on air, but Green Lantern's whole power is he's only limited by his imagination. He can literally form miniguns and cars and fucking Ryan Reynolds. And dildos.
So what's everyone bitching about, Kev?
People are bitching about her power changing. And I'm pretty sure people are just bitching because it's another female-led superhero movie.
Oh, shocker.
Because, I mean, like, during
and she's a minority, too.
And during the
get him mad.
When the Captain Marvel shit came up, people just couldn't stop talking about that. But speaking of Marvel,
sucked, though.
Captain Marvel was fine.
It was fine.
It had a cat. That's all I cared about.
The cat was the best part.
It was a female ginger cat, which makes me happy.
I enjoyed the plot twist of the Skrulls being the good guys.
Yeah, I like that. That was cool. Where the aliens were actually good and the humans were bad? What?
That
Well,
movie's
no,
like
I mean,
5 years old.
traditionally in the comics, Skrulls are always the bad guys.
Oh.
They are like
Well, I don't
they're
read
villains. So like it was an interesting plot twist for me that oh shit, they're actually the good guys this time around.
Anyways, Steve, how's Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3
Good.
is very good. We watched Avengers last time. We watched Iron Man 3 this past week. 3 is great. It's kind of I just kind of noted that it's basically having watched the Iron Man movies kind of all in a row, where this is kind of where Tony starts to actually not be a total unlikable jackass. Where he was kind of unlike, even when he's just like, I'm gonna stop selling weapons, he's still a kind of a dickhead. He's just like to everyone, even like in Avengers, he's just constantly antagonizing Banner and like just kind of being unpleasant. Like I would not want to hang around Tony Stark if he was real, because he's a dick. But like in Iron Man 3, he starts to get like all empathetic. He's got PTSD. He's still a dick he's still a dick, but he's a little bit less so. I don't know. And then I think that plot culminates in Civil War when he's just like, "Oh shit, we fucked up, guys." It was a fun movie. I know some people don't like it, and Kevin's gonna back me up on this. The Ben Kingsley isn't the real Mandarin twist is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No, I thought it was terrible at first.
But you love it now, right?
Nah.
It's great, especially
I love Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is probably my favorite Iron Man movie, but that twist was still so fucking stupid.
No, I liked it.
No, it was good. It was
fine, but it was stupid.
Why was
I think
it stupid?
Killian.
What's your opinion on why it was stupid?
I think Killian being like, "I'm the real Mandarin" was kind of dumb.
Okay, yeah,
but,
that
like,
was the stupid part.
But like,
Yeah.
I'm the Mandarin, man.
He's like, I'm the Mandarin. You're just kind of like, no, you're not. Where are your fucking magic rings?
Yeah, and then Shang-Chi being like, hey, he wasn't actually the real
Oh, that's
Mandarin,
the real
it's okay."
Mandarin. There we go.
I really his little cameo bits in Shang-Chi was just so fucking good.
Yeah, I thought Iron Man 3 is still my favorite, but
Iron Man 3. I think that's what Vanessa says. I still think the first one is probably my favorite. The third one is very close second, and you know what? The second movie is fine. Y'all are just mean.
I think the second's fine too.
I think, yeah.
I also like
Not
the
y'all,
second.
but I just meant the y'all as
the
in the
collective
general
internet.
fandom. Yeah, because everyone hates on Iron Man 3 is like equating it to like Thor: The Dark World, and I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty sure I'm going to like Thor: The Dark World more than I like Thor. I haven't seen it yet,
Thor
but
didn't get
my
good until
opinion is-
Ragnarok.
My opinion is that's not a high bar to clear, and yet it's still missed.
Yeah.
what missed?
That Ragnarok, that Dark World is better.
Thor 1 was not a high bar to clear, and Dark World still missed.
I think I'm gonna like it better than Thor because I don't know, nothing fucking happened in Thor. I guess
Nothing fucking happens in Dark World either.
The best
Even
Thor
less
movie
happens
is
in
Ragnarok.
Dark World.
Yeah,
And
I think I could.
I did not want to see Ragnarok because of how bad the first two were, but Kevin dragged my ass to the theaters so we could see it in theaters.
I mean, and of course, Thor Ragnarok is the best of the Thor trilogy so far until whenever Love and Thunder comes out, which will either probably be the second best Thor movie.
At least. Could either be a second or first best.
Yeah, but
If it becomes third best, then we're going to have a talk with that producer.
With Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true, Harry.
But I mean, it might become the first best, but it might also be the biggest.
Are we transitioning to something?
Yes. Chris and
You think, Steve? You think?
Chris and I bought our biggest fish tank yet.
Technically, I bought it from my savings account.
We bought our biggest fish tank yet. It's how many gallons do you think it is? Guess.
32.
No, I'm not gonna guess.
No, guess.
32.
All right, Mike, you
Bigger.
first. Guess. Mike.
Someone guess.
69.
Bigger.
69. All right, Mike.
Mine. Oh, I already guessed it was way smaller than that, but I'll guess again. 100.
Okay,
Bigger.
Ryan. You can't say. We need to get their things before you say bigger or smaller.
That's fair.
Is it the 150?
Yeah.
Steve.
Sure.
Well,
No, yeah, it
I
was.
wonder if it's 150.
Yeah, it's a 150.
no, it's 420.
It's a 150 long. So
No, it's just a 150.
No, I was looking.
150.
I was looking at a 150 today in
Inches
the
or
pet store,
gallons?
or yesterday in the pet store, and it was tall, and it was not nearly as long as ours.
Ours is
Oh.
tall.
All right, are we talking inches or gallons,
Gallons.
here?
Gallons. 150 gallons.
Jesus fucking Christ.
We're gonna put
Wait,
sharks
is it
in
not
it.
Is it not the one that you showed me?
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
think
is
we
that
showed
one.
it to you in the store, right?
Oh, so it is that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in our basement now.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah. They actually delivered it for us.
So I'm gonna put some of the fish on screen. I'm sorry, I'm Steve. I'm gonna cover your screen.
Those are
Wow.
at least
Wow.
6 of the
I mean,
fish
it's
that we're
Less
gonna get. We
important
might
than a
have
bunch
more.
of fucking fish.
These are the fish we're gonna put in there. This one's a bala shark.
That's the middle one. Middle top is a bala. The
Top left is a red tip.
No, that's a rainbow technically. The red tip is the one below the bala. You
What's
just
this
can't
one?
see
It is
I said
420
it's a
What's
rainbow.
somewhere in
bottom
the
left?
world.
Bottom left is a rosaline shark.
Oh, I thought that was a rainbow shark. Okay.
And then there's a harlequin shark in the upright, and then the last one is a silver Apollo shark.
Yes. So Shark Tank. Ooh ha ha.
Shark Tank. Ooh, ah.
Oh.
Uh,
Well, this entire segment is set up for that fucking joke.
No.
No. What entire segment?
Good.
Yeah.
You talking about fish?
Oh.
No.
No.
Okay.
It just happened to work.
All right, and 2 years of
Sus.
COVID has
Yeah, we've officially been
accumulated
here for 2
from
years.
us having 4 setup tanks and 2 in the works, 2 cats, and we're getting married at the end of the year.
We have 5 tanks.
5 tanks. I forgot about this one. 2 in the works, so 7 altogether. 2 cats, a dog, in about a month.
That's a spoiler.
And we're getting married at the end of the year. So that's what came from our COVID.
Dog is in 2 weeks, not a month.
Yes, the dog is in 2 weeks, not a month. And it's not even a healthy dog.
Wait, don't cats eat fish? No.
Not our cats. I mean, they eat chicken flavored food.
So yeah, what's something good that's come from COVID, guys, for you people?
Let's start with Mike.
Uh,
Steve.
no, I got the
Somebody.
What?
I got the when COVID hit, our shitty assistant baker never came back from unemployment, so I got promoted to being baker. So
Yay.
yay.
Capitalism.
Wait, the bitch that was supposed to take over for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitch. He never came back.
Oh, him.
Yeah, and then there was the one girl. She had a much sadder termination. So we won't get into that.
About her then.
Okay.
Monica. Past 2 years.
I mean, I had personally a lot of ups and downs in
We're
the
just
last
talking about ups.
couple years, but the biggest ups, I was able to personal train with my mom regularly for about a year and a half before shit got busy, and then I alluded to it earlier, but I started therapy last year, and that was fucking great. And while it was very much COVID related, there was a lot of other baggage that I need to take care of and sort out. So that's been helpful to sort that out and be a more confident person and not be anxious as shit all the time.
Nice.
I have a really
Ryan?
bad joke in response to Harry's thing. I don't want to say
No,
it
you're
though.
not gonna say it. You
Ryan,
can just
anything
type it.
good come out from the last 2 years?
Got my driver's license.
Yay.
Got a car.
Yay.
And I started a new job on Monday
Yay.
that I went to school for.
Nice.
Yay! Ryan's no longer wasting his degree.
According to every person above us in generation.
According to every adult I talk to.
We're
You're
adults.
wasting your degree.
We're adults.
Anyone else have anything fun they'd like to say?
Steve.
I mean,
Steve
I am
can go.
also getting. I mean, nothing directly related to COVID, but like I'm getting married. I'm also getting married.
This wasn't
twice
related to
at the
COVID,
end of this year.
but it
Oh,
is
copier.
something that's happened.
Even though he got engaged first, copier.
Shh.
Yeah, I'm also getting married. I got